Thanks to the support as a channel member, Harold Rotmo. Well, I'm hearing rumours that the Leamington historians are already talking about the transfer restrictions that we had in the summer as the best thing that could have ever happened to this football club. It forced me to keep the promotion-winning team together. It's forced me to add to them slowly and methodically and with not as many players, anywhere near as many players as I would normally add. And it's going really, really well because of it. Hello and welcome to part 26 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in the National League. We're away against Dagenham and Redbridge, and at home against Dagenham and Redbridge, a triple threat match there. And then we're away against year before's starting team, Kingsland. Since you were last with me, as you can see from the league table, things have been going remarkably well. Keeping this team together, I'm a genius. It was all deliberate. There was no transfer embargo. I knew this team was good, so I kept these boys together. Some of the players who've stepped up, it's quite remarkable. Max Waltman, already in with 3 goals from 5 appearances. He's still not breaking a 7 on his average rating, but he's scored a third of last year's goal total in just 5 games. He's not even the most impressive one. Ben Andrucci has got 5 from 7, 5 goals from 6 starts, and he's actually averaging a 7.17. These players who were here last year are stepping up and playing better than they did last year. Makanef, 2 goals already, a 6.96. He's taken a step up in terms of league and performance. We're just looking like a really, really good side. So, of course, now I've messed it up by signing players that I'm going to start drifting into this team over the next few weeks. Finance-wise, we are close to being maxed out. We can probably get maybe 2 more players in, and I will be trying because we've only got a 21-man squad, I think, at the moment. Still a little bit light in case of injury. But I'll quickly introduce you to the new boys who are in. Harvey Cartwright, I think we signed him in the last episode. He's the goalkeeper. The first outfield signing we brought in this year, Armstrong Okoflex, who we've signed a couple of times before in the past, specifically on Twitch. I know he was part of one of my teams at some point from back when he was at Celtic. Apparently, he's now at West Ham in real life, but was released by them after 3 years. He can play out wide on either side. He can play up front. We've brought him in to use in all those roles, really. Initially thinking he might play as a striker, but so far, because of the form of the players that we've got playing up front, we've been playing him out wide. He's not really had much of a look in yet, but he will get time. We're easing these new boys in slowly. He's only played 3 times on a 6.83 so far. And when we're operating with such a small squad, that's one of the themes of it, being able to play in multiple positions. Another example, Val Adedokan, 21-year-old Irish left-sided player. We've brought him in to play left wing. He's actually played a couple of times for us at left back, can play wing back, midfield. He's going to play anywhere up and down that left-hand side. He's previously of Brentford, who he got 1 Premier League game playing for Brentford, was out on loan in the League of Ireland last year, getting 4 goals. And he's now back, well, I was going to say back playing regularly in England. He's never played regularly in England before. But he's back in England and will now play regularly. Shea Price is on loan from Bolton. Just as some cover for us at the back. He can play centre-back, right-back. He's unlikely to be a regular starter in either role, although he has started with a 7.35 average rating, so I might change my mind on that in the near future. Joel Senior is in as a right-back, 25 years old. Again, a few of these are a little bit older than my normal signing profile. We had to take what we could get. We needed bodies. Joel Senior is a right-back. He's considered the best right-back at the club by star rating. He was playing for Altrincham in the National League North for the last couple of years, but played a couple of years for them in the National League as well, formerly of Burnley, amongst lots of non-league sides. Never actually played a game for Burnley. David Alcock is an 18-year-old striker who's already got 10 caps for Trinidad and Tobago. He is, by star rating, the best striker at the club. We've not seen any evidence of it yet because he's not played for us yet. He's only just come in, having spent his youth career at Blackburn. Stephen Hendry, probably the oldest man I'll sign in the entire save at 29 years old, but we just could not find a left back. So Stephen Hendry is in at age 29 to be our starting left back. He was at Northampton on loan last year playing in League Two Before that was at Accrington in League One. He's been playing around League One, League Two level all his career, played in the Scottish Championship as well, still only 29. So theoretically, you would think he's playing well below what his level should be. And despite being 29, should fit right in. And then Giovanni McGregor, 25-year-old midfielder, can play as a defensive midfielder or an attacking midfielder as well. He's supposedly better than Livermore and almost as good as Scott Smith. And he was playing for Dulwich Hamlet in this league for the last couple of years. Been there a long time, but 2 years in the National League. Lots of experience at this level. So all of that means that the team for the Dagenham and Redbridge game looks a little bit different to the team you saw in the last episode. We actually have a debut for McGregor in midfield. I think Hendry played in the last game. He did. So Hendry not on his debut, but a debut for McGregor in midfield. You're going to get to see Adidokan for the first time as well. And then on the bench, we've got Alcock as one of the new signings. Livermore and Okoflex both being arrested because of tired little legs having played in the last game. The games, we've mentioned before, just how many matches we're playing in August. It's ridiculous. It is just Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, all through August. We're barely getting to train because we're still only part-time. And it's going to catch up with us at some point. I don't know why we're forcing so many games into the early part of the season. January, we've only got 3 matches scheduled at the moment. It's a bit of a weirdly front-loaded season, but I imagine they've got their reasons for it. Let's get into the match, though, shall we? Did I introduce the team? I don't think I did. I'll do that now. Marshall in goal. Back four of Hendry, Cullinan, Okagbu and Rhodes. McGregor and Smith in midfield. Adidokan, Thomas and McAneff behind Andrucci up front. I actually feel like we've probably got a squad now that has enough depth in all of the areas that it needs depth to probably be okay. I'm thinking for my last little bit of wage budget that I've got available. Obviously, I'm going to spend it. But rather than just filling in with squad players now, I think the plan is just waiting for that really talented player to come along, 1 or 2 of those, whoever it might be, whatever position it might be. If we can find someone who's like a 4.5 star player, even if it's a loan, just to level up the team now. We've clearly got a good side. We're top of the league at the moment. I don't expect us to finish there. I think we probably will get found out because of our tiny squad size that we've got. I mean, for example, today, Livermore's not able to be in the team today. He's a big miss. We don't know if McGregor's good enough to fill that gap in the team just yet. Hopefully he is. But I think we will start to struggle as the season goes on once teams stop taking us as lightly as they are at the moment. But you never know. If we can add a superstar or 2 into this 11, we might just be able to have a run at those playoffs and have a very, very unlikely back-to-back promotion, which that feels like the sort of thing that is likely to attract the attention of some bigger clubs and maybe instigate my first manager move of non-league to legend this year. To be fair, even a good finish in like mid-table, upper mid-table, I think I'd probably, if I was a League One, League Two club, I think I'd probably be paying attention to a manager who's managed to do that with a team like Leamington, just, especially with the summer that we've been through. Even now, with us being top of the conference, I mean, we probably won't be after this match because Dagenham have just taken the lead. But if it's once it gets to like late September, early October, and a few managers start getting sacked, I think I'm probably an appealing option. We might be in the end times here at Leamington, or we might be here for another 5 years. We might lead the team back to Leamington. Who knows? That's the great thing about non-league to legend. We have no idea how it's going to end up. What we would like to do, though, is get back into this game. So I'll adjust the microphone down a little bit so that I can concentrate on the match. Adidokan plays it into McAneff, who drills the ball across, and Donnell Thomas is in for his second goal of the season. And there is your equaliser just after we start things off again for the second half. It's Leamington 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 1. We are defending our lead in a triple threat match, which is no mean feat. I'll tell you that. As wrestling fans will know, the champion doesn't need to be pinned to lose the title in this match, and we are holding our ground. We're not actually playing that well. We are slightly ahead on stats, which is always nice. Where are Dagenham in the league? I mean, Dagenham are down in the relegation zone. They feel like a big team for this level because they've obviously been in the Football League relatively recently, but seemingly have fallen on hard times in this universe and have struggled at the start of this season. But they are on the attack again here, but nobody. I mean, Rhodes has got that covered comfortably. Then Okagbu to Smith. And this is all nice and comfortable for us as we look to get the ball moving forward again. Rhodes plays it back to Akagbu. There wasn't a decent pass on for him. And it goes all the way back to Marshall. We're going to have a big Marshall lump for Andrucci to chase. There is the lump. It's actually Thomas who's chasing it. He nods it down to Andrucci, who plays it into Adidokan, who, I mean, he had an open goal in it. It's a lovely pass from Andrucci. It's a great first touch as well. The first touch just takes the goalkeeper completely out of the equation. And we've gone 2-1 up, and we have started this second half like a different team. This is great interplay from three of the front four, but that pass from Andrucci was a thing of beauty. 2-1 to us now. This is a little bit more like it. This is how I've been seeing us play in these in-betweeny matches. And Dagenham trying to get something moving, but it's just an aimless lump forward that Cullinan is going to deal with all day long. Thomas now looking to dink it over the top to Andrucci. He's in now, takes the shot, but the goalkeeper pushes it wide for a corner. We look like we're going to be the next goal scorer. We have just been a completely different team in this second half. McGregor with the in-swinger. McAneff can't keep the header down, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Right, substitution o'clock. What have we got down on the bench? Who is tiring? We need a central midfielder. I mean, I guess Livermore, who's resting today, would be the central midfielder. Navarro can come on and play there. It's just not ideal to be bringing him on. I'd quite like to have a look at David Alcock. He's got the frustration that he can only really play in one position. What I might do is take off Adidokan, put Andrucci out that on the left-hand side, just so we can get Alcock on and have a look at him up front. He wants to be a poacher. I don't really want him to be a poacher. I think he needs to learn to be an advanced forward because that's what we play with. So he's going to learn to play my way or he's going to struggle. But that will do for initial changes, and then we can save our final substitution for when someone really is just limping along and struggling, which, I mean, there's several of them who are now. We've got Waltman and Adedoyan on the bench who could both come on and play on that right-hand side. McAneff's going to come off. Waltman's going to come on. And we'll hopefully just see the game out from here. There's Thomas playing it into Waltman, out to Rhodes. This is where we want the cross for Alcock to grab a goal. We want Alcock to be just as much of a goal threat as Andrucci has been so far this season. We want competition for places up front. Hendry playing it back to McGregor. McGregor has looked solid on his debut. Decent cross for Waltman, but I think Waltman had actually got himself offside there. Thunders it back off the crossbar, but the referee had already blown his whistle, I think. And there's Thomas again, who's been involved in everything, and you can tell he's tiring. That was an example of a misplaced pass as a player is tiring. That's one of the new FM22 features. I see a few people every now and again questioning in the comments, have you seen any evidence of the of players getting tired leading to mistakes? Well, there you go. There was an example of it there. It's the sort of thing you didn't see a lot of in FM21. McGregor now playing it back to Cullinan to Akagbu. We're just keeping hold of the ball nicely. There's still 10 minutes of the match remaining, so it would be nice to just rubber stamp it with a third goal. And Waltman is trying to do exactly that. Crosses over, looking for Alcock, doesn't get anywhere near him. Andrucci's there to pick up the scraps, gives it back to Hendry, who has been fouled. I mean, questionable whether or not it's in the area, but in this world of no VAR, it doesn't matter. The ref has given it. And McGregor now from the spot on his debut with the chance to put us 3-1 up, put this game out of reach of Dagenham and Redbridge. It is Leamington 3, Dagenham 1. We are going to end the match top of the league, just like we started it. This season is absurd. This last couple of months in the life of Leamington Football Club have been mad. It's still August. Back in June, we're celebrating promotion when we realise we've got to move to Coventry. Then the chairman decides he's packing it in. We have a transfer embargo all summer. We finally get a supporters trust take the club over 3 days before the start of the new season, so we have no time to sign any players. We've got to play in Coventry because we're not allowed back into Leamington because of the league regulations. And then we just start winning. We end up top of the league whilst bringing in all these old men journeymen that I'd never sign in any other circumstances. And they're good too. We stay top of the league. And despite all that ridiculous adversity, it seems like momentum really is a big deal. We just don't want to derail the momentum at any point, because I think at that point we probably do start to struggle. But there's your confirmation that I inspired them with whatever my halftime team talk was. I am an inspirational man. And now we finish August off with a trip to Kingsland. I've been to Kingsland since I recorded a video there when I was managing them a few years ago. So we rotate again for Kingsland because players are just getting tired. You can see we've got McGregor, Thomas, Hendry, Rhodes, and Drucci. None of them fully fit, so we're going to rest all of them. Adedokan, not quite there either, but we're struggling for players to bring in for him. Likewise, with McAnuff, who's going to have to start on the bench as well. We're still, this is what I mean about still having quite a small squad. When the matches are coming this often, Scott Smith as well could do with a rest. We can't rest all of them. We're going to rest as many as we can. So big changes. Marshall in goal, a back four this time of Cullinan at left back again, because we still only really have the one. Akagbu, Colvin and Senior, the rest of the back four. Smith and a returning Livermore in midfield. Adedokan and then Navarro and Okoflex completing the front three with Waltman as the attack. This front four have never played before together in their lives. It could be great. It could be a disaster. We know Waltman's in the goals this year. Okoflex has looked lively when he's played. Navarro, been a bit of a disappointment so far. But this is an opportunity for him. I think this is the first time he started a match in his preferred position as centre forward. So, yes, he's been a little bit disappointing, but this is his first big opportunity. Fingers crossed he goes out there and takes it, because we need players who are good enough to play in this team throughout our 2021 22 man squad. And that is not an ideal start to the game. 5 minutes gone, just as we did against Dagenham and Redbridge. We've gone behind. The wheels aren't going to come off at some point. I promise you that. I'm convinced we're not gonna just run away with this league. I think this is a false league position at the moment, where we're taking all of that promotion momentum and the fact that we didn't really change much of the team. And it's just, we're getting a little bit of early season run good. I know it can't last forever. And Kingsland are a good side. You can see they're up in 5th in the league. We're at their place. This is going to be a big test for us today with a squad that's tired. It's not our first choice team. And this might be the day that we start to figure out where we really stand in this league. The important thing is, even if we struggle for a little bit now, we've got, 20 points on the board already, which is fantastic when it comes to avoiding relegation, which is all the board actually asked me to do. They asked for a fight bravely against relegation. We need, 50 points to be secure of staying in this league for next year? It's still August, and we're nearly halfway there. So we can't really complain too much, even if we lose our next couple of matches, which, this one, Kingsland do look like they're probably a better side than we are, as you would expect for a team that are probably hoping to be in the promotion mix for themselves this year. 2-0 to them with 23 minutes gone. And this hasn't started the way I would like it to have started. I'm looking down at the bench already, wondering what we can do to try and get ourselves back into the game as this goes on. McAnuff's not really fully fit. Alcock's completely untested. Theodros, despite looking good on paper, has never really performed. Adedoyan is just a roll of a dice, similar to what you get with Waltman, with the other strikers that we've got. They all blow very hot and cold. Waltman is in there and would have been nice. What I would really, really love, and we still haven't had one in this save, I would love to have a striker who, when he gets in a position like that, you feel like you're expecting him to score, and we still haven't had one of those. We'll get one, and when we do, I tell you, when we do, Navarro with the corner. Both of those corners have missed everyone at the near post and bounced in the 6-yard box. It's terrible defending from Kingsland, but it's really poor from us as well, because that's bounced in the 6-yard box on 2 separate set pieces, and we've had no one getting on the end of it. And there's not really any excuse for that. Yes, we should be, I guess, expecting Kingsland to deal with it themselves, but you've got to be in there and gambling on them missing it or leaving it the way they have. There were 2 opportunities there for us to grab goals, and we're 2-0 down. So you don't really want to be passing up 2 goal scoring opportunities in that situation. We've been pretty poor in this first half, although if you look at the XG, we are actually ahead on XG. So we can probably count ourselves a little bit unlucky that Kingsland have scored twice from relatively little in the way of goal scoring opportunities. Or they're trying to create another one here. Okoflex heading clear towards Waltman, but not all the way to Waltman. And Eli Campbell, who I think is a legend of home. I think we had him at home, whether it was on the original home save. I don't think it was on last year's one. But Eli Campbell, I did notice, is considered the best player in the National League and is obviously in the Media Dream 11. And at the heart of the defence for Kingsland, that's the kind of player I would like to be having. And I don't think we've got anyone anywhere near his league. Well, it looked like they are playing him at left back today, which is a little bit weird, considering he's in the Dream 11 as a centre back. He can play left back or centre back and central midfield, if I remember him rightly from when we had him. But I think if you've got a player that good, you play them in the position where they're going to have the most impact on the game, and that would be centre back. Not that I'm in a position to be lecturing Ian Culverhouse on how to manage a team, because he's beating me at the moment, so he probably feels like he's got that right today, and I perhaps wouldn't have done. Adedokan is in. We've already seen him score once today, but this time his shot is not enough to get past the Kingsland goalkeeper, and we get yet another corner. I feel like we've had a lot of opportunities from corners today. This time we actually connect with one, but Colvin's header, it's too high. Look at the state of those match stats. We've had 11 corners. We turned off play for set pieces a year ago, and we've had 11 corners in this match. I am feeling hard done by right now. We need a striker. Goodness me, do we need a striker? Arco Flex, he could be the striker. Maybe we need to give him a run playing up front. Maybe Alcock on the bench is the striker that we'll end up turning to. Or Andrucci's probably sat there thinking, I've got like 6 goals so far this season. I'm your striker. I'm just having a day off. Right, Makadef's going to come on this left-hand side as an inside forward. Okoflex has been poor. He can come. Adedoyan can come on for him. You know what? We're going to change all of the attackers. We are going to bring Alcock on, and we're going to let him have a go playing as a poacher. It's not something I'd normally do, but if he feels like playing as a poacher is the position for him, we're losing. We may as well let him have a go at it. If he grabs a hat-trick playing as a poacher, I'm probably willing to tweak the tactic a little bit to fit that into it. But as you would expect, we're not really getting much in the way of highlights. And despite dominating the match, Kingsland they've just used their experience as wily veterans of a few seasons in this league now to pick up a victory they absolutely didn't deserve. But who's the real winners here? Because we're still above them in the league. We're still in the playoff positions. I don't expect to still be in the playoff positions in the next episode. If we are, I'll be absolutely delighted. We're not going to play too many matches before the next match. Over the last couple of years, we've raced through the seasons a little bit because we were stuck in tier 6 for a little while, but we're going to take our time a little bit more this year, figure out what's what about the National League. And I want you to be with me as this team develops. So we'll play 5 or 6 games off camera, no more than that. And then we'll be back tomorrow to see how we're getting on. It'll be sometime in September we'll be back. Like I say, we're not going to charge off and do a quarter of the season in one go. That's our first league defeat for a long time, actually. It's going to be interesting to see how we react to that. Not since Guiseley back in April have we lost a match in the league. So fingers crossed we can bounce back against Woking, who are down in mid-table. Fingers crossed. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.